Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum all, and a very good morning to all. Welcome to another day Friday session. Today we are going to talk about decision tree code, and in our second part we will talk about the logistic regression. So what I am going to cover today, uh, the introduction, code of DT, and the basic of logistic regression. Where we can see the decision tree code, can we write manually or it was a discussion? I will discuss the code that I earlier done. I just describe it one by one what is happening, and this is not Jupyter notebook. It's instead of it we are seeing the code in our on the platform of Kaggle. And logistic regression, we will talk more later about logistic regression. Before we deep dive into the code and then the next session, just I want to give a flavor that whenever the terms come in our mind, logistic regression, uh, you think that the concept binary classification running in our mind, and that is multi-class, another class multi-class classification. Okay, now let's dive into the code. Okay, alright, you all are know about the Kaggle. If you don't know, then you just randomly go to the Google and search the Kaggle. Kaggle is one of the best data collection library where we can also editing code. We can see that there are many options in the left sidebar, and there are an option data model, data set, competition, discussion, learning session, and so on so forth. So if you have any doubt about it, you must go to the Kaggle and visited it. This very simple and easy, just go through. Okay, now today I will discuss about our dataset collect from the Titanic machine learning from disaster. So this is a basically competition, so where we collect dataset for today. And you can see also that the tag is beginner, and here about the write some details about our competition, and how do we submit it. That's the guideline here. And so if you go through there, you can know more. And then in our give more insight about our data set, where we can see that in this data set our target is the passenger is survival or not. 0 for no, 1 for yes. And the classes has divided into three classes: first class, second class, third class, based on their property. SP of siblings, spouse aboard the Titanic, or and parent or children aboard the Titanic. So we can easily relate it that parents and spouse, that means this there is a connection. We have to look understand very clear about our data set, that is there any connection or not. So it's also give the details that about the P class, upper, middle, lower, according to the first, second, third. Okay, and here you can see that sibling, brother, sister, step brother, spouse, house, parent. So these are a relation, there exists a relationship between SIB, SB and per CA. So here is the details. We can see all our data. So easily, if we click here, you can see that there is the other competitors code share with you your work just data 11 hours ago, and also we can see the leaderboard. Okay, now back into our code. I just open my code and going to describe about it. Okay, here we can see that the submission competition, and we can also use that our data set is there. Okay, so how do you read our data set? At first of all, uh, whenever we open any notebook throw and competition in Kaggle, it automatically create this cell. So this cell is traverse and find where our data set is exist. Okay, so I run the cell and it will return the data path where my data is uh, data path data is existed. Okay, so the kernel is booting. It take few minutes according to your device. Okay, congratulations, our data is coming successfully read. So which data we will take and work? Well, we will consider only train data for this let code. So if we go there, we can see that the train data is exist. Okay, if I open it, but I will later see how to open it. Here you can see 10 of 12, that means total 12 classes there. Okay, I just off it, and I am assign some library that we will use often in the code, and input warning if we occur any error according to the what see, like the file is deprecated, the method is no longer warning. So this type of warning I can't ignore, that's why I am using it. Okay, my cell is not run, just I run the cell, and here I write a variable name Titanic df pd means panda. Read the csv file where the file I want to read, the train.csv file. Okay, now my data is located in the Titanic df means data frame. So I have no idea about my shape, so just I want to know how many shape it is. So 8 9 1 into 12, that means that we know the first one is row represent and the second one is column represent. Okay, so if we just want to know how many columns are there, and if we want to print the len, that is can return 12, and if we run this code, it shows that the name of the columns: passenger id, survive, pip, class name, sheet. You can more about this. So what is the data look like in our data set? Just the head comment, and we look, this is our data set. So basically here return 5 or 10, here it's return only 5 data. If I put tail, it give me the last 5 values, and the column is not changed. Okay, so remember this. And now we want to know more about data set, so I just run this command, it return that there are any number of value is null or not. So if we closer look at this data set, that earlier it returned our data set size is 1891. Okay, so 891. Here you see that there is no null value, but some missing value exists, like age is, I can see that 714, but it should be 891. And if we look close at the cabin, we can see that there is 204, a huge number of gap exist there. Okay, so now I want to know the more about my data set. The mean is statistical. Whenever we run this command describe, it give the entire statistic of our data set. So the count return the how many values exist in this column, and their mean also the standard deviation. Okay, I know you know about the mean and standard deviation. How do it find it? Okay, well, and I want to say the some pictorial views of the sex category, that how many number are how many passengers are male and how many are female. So if I run this, it can return a nice picture where we can see that male approximately 600 touched, and below nearly 300 female exist there. Okay, so I can also compare this into with other method, like here I run the hue, sex and the p classes. If I change the value to age, where I from the age is one of the column name, so I can see that it can return a huge value. Okay, so there is the which three class the age is most, and it's almost 20. Okay, so I just change it and it is going to 6. Okay, so just for now I want to show again the this plot of the age. I want to know the age value, which one and what is more. Okay, here if I give the KD false, it remove the line. Okay, so we can see that the age, most ages between the 20 to 30, here we can see that almost, and very few ages people whose age is between 70 to 80, that is close to 0. Okay, so according to the age we can say that the number of more passengers are, they are all are young. Okay, so as I earlier told that I have two class, SAJJAD and parent and both are same, so I want to together this class for reduce the complexity. So earlier we have dataset 12 columns. After forcefully assign this, we will see that there is a 13 column. Okay, look at this. Here I 100 means that it's give me the first 100 rows. If I give me the tail, it's return me the last 700 rows. I can see that 0 1 10, there is SBA and parent children 2, 8 plus 2 equal to 10 is okay. So but I want to make it more simple. For example, if there is no one, we can return 0, and if it is either more than 1, 2, 3 or whatever, we can assign it the 1 value. So how do we do this? We apply the where comment. Titanic along where location, that Titanic df along is more than 0, we just assign simply 1. Okay, what it's return? Just look at 7902, it's return 10. After I run this command, it shows what it will show. We can see that this is 1. Okay, and as our target is to find that the passenger is survived or not, so what I have to do, I have to more things find about that which are related to the, or which impact more to a passenger uh, became is survive or not. Okay, so the first thing is that the p classes, so the based on the ticket, that how much are survived or not. So we can see that if there are the 0, 3 classes, 0 means no and 1 means survived. Okay, so also I want to that the based on how many uh, male survived or female survived, which more, we can see that the male is survived less compared to the female. Now the crucial part come in our the data preparation. So a man is survive or not, that doesn't depend on the uh, passenger ID. For example, if the passenger ID is 1 but he cannot swim, and if the passenger ID is 100 but he knows swim, so somehow he survived by swim. This is just an example. So so life survive doesn't depend on the passenger ID, as well as name, ticket, embark, cabin. So as these are not related with our target value, that's why I want to drop this column for make it simplicity. Okay, after drop this column, what I will see, that I will see that there are few classes. Okay, so all are numeric except sex. So what I have to do, I have to uh, change the sex value. So before changing, it should be better if I want to see the number of unique. So I can see that this sex value contain two type, male, either male or female. So what I have to do, I have to run a condition that Titanic clean df, that's my new dataset name, where is go to sex, np dot where Titanic df sex equal to male, then we put 1, otherwise we give 0. So it take a few minutes, that's why we wait for this. How I know that it takes sometimes? Okay, before, if you look at this, you can see here a star sign, which means the cell is running. Okay, now Titanic.df head. So if I run this code, I can see that the sex is either 0 or 1, replace in instead of male and female. Okay, so so far we have clean our data. There is no no string value, or you can say object value, all are numeric. As we know, our machine learning uh, read read or understand very well in the numerical value. So that's why we have to convert all the object value into the numeric. Okay, now I want to see the correlation between one another class. So here we consider the absolute value. If I consider the survived to, and then near survived, this return 1, but we have to look other value, the minus 54. We consider here the absolute value. Okay, so if the survive rate down, the sex is grown, means there we can see a negative relation. If sex number is rise, the survive rate decrease. Okay, so in this correlation we can see that the compared to survive, though it is our target, so without it we can see that the sex and p class play a crucial role compared to other. So and we can see that uh, the least value of along that we made. Okay, so is now handling missing value. I can see that the age has 177 missing value. This number is not small. Within 8 901 1700 177 is missing. So what we have to do, I have to see the box plot to know the more about age. Though the p class has only 3 value, so I should be compare it. Okay, so what it shows or return to me, we can see that the p class 1, it's the range 0 to 880, sorry, and the mean, this return the mean value, so that's mean value approximately 40. And in the next one also show the p classes value, and if you look at the dot value, so excuse me, this is the sum value that belong to the class 2, similar to the class 3. So this represent the mean, so we can predict p3 is below or near 30, and it's 30 point something. Okay, we do not worry, we do not calculate like this is just assumption. Sometimes assumption can be wrong, so we have to if we uh, calculate the entire mean, so what I have to see that 20.69, this is not a good way to calculate, consider the mean, as we have the clear pictorial view of 3 different ages exist. So based on this we have to fill up this. Okay, so I want to know the pre-class 3 age 3. If I want to run one, what I have to see, the 38.23, where in the earlier it's written only 29.69. So I have to, if I find any missing value there, I have to uh, fill up this missing value with this average, similar to the, if the data missing for class 3, I will complete this mean based on the class 3 mean. Okay, so here I run a, here I write a function that fill age, which receive a row. So as I send the first thing is age, and second is p classes, and third one is x. Though I am not considering it, I can pass many things, but for the simplicity I just calculate about age and p classes. So if the data is null, so the p classes is 1, else if p classes 2, and else we can return the 25. If you are wonder where I find this value, I just simply check here. Okay, you can see that I find here and put it. Okay, if there is no value missing, it's return the current age value. Okay, after run this method, I have to see that in my data set that there is no null value exist. But if we back in the previous, what we have seen that age has 177 missing value, so we have to clean data for make our model well. Okay, so we do not apply more other preprocessing like normalization, scaling. We do not do this, as we in our decision tree it has based on decision, just not calculate the other value. So that is why we do not consider this, but for other algorithm we have to do normalization for better result, or sometimes we can up spelling, down sampling, need everything based on data and the based on algorithm what we are applying. Okay, now model building. So we know that the x means feature, as the survived is our target, so we have to simply decrease it, drop, and the y means target value, so we set the y is equal to Titanic in df. Okay, if I run this, I split my dataset, train and target. Okay, and